Is it time again? The answer, of course, is yes. Why else would I be here? Anyway, welcome to my new house. You can see here, this one has a lot different shape than the other one. I think this will make the videos a lot more appealing when I'm doing them, so you can actually like see everything going on around here, sort of like the actual cooking shows. Not like I'm trying to be an actual cooking show or anything, but so this is New Mexico style pozole. I thought I might as well try that out since, of course, I moved here to New Mexico last week. So here we are. I was looking at some of the recipes online for this, and a lot of them are pretty basic. I guess the original recipe is very mild as far as the ingredients go, so I thought I'd try to combine two of these to give it a little more vibrancy. So as far as these go, I'll be doing mostly one recipe, but adding in some other things from the other one, so I'll link both of them in there so you can see which stuff I kind of pick and chose from. What else? Oh, the total cost for the ingredient list here is $29.50 from Walmart. So just for reference for when you get all that yourself, if you want to make this. Actually, I'm missing a few of the cold ingredients, but I want to keep those in the fridge. I've got like shredded cheese and the pork that goes in this, but we don't have to worry about those right now because those go in later. Hold on. So I actually came across this recipe accidentally. I haven't heard of it before, but I searched for just New Mexico slow cooker recipe, and this was the first thing that came up, was at least one of these. But I went through a few of them to see which ones sounded good. And then also Mr. Cinnaminty had suggested it to me, so I thought I might as well try it out. Yeah, other than that, we'll go ahead and get started chopping up the onion and the jalapeno. I bought minced garlic because I want to be lazy. Garlic's kind of annoying, so I'll just go ahead and move this stuff out of the way so I can get started with this. Okay, so I saved you the pain of having to watch me cut up everything. So I've got these all ready to go here, including the pork that I rinsed off beforehand. One thing to note, don't touch your face after cutting those. Ask me how I know. Anyway, everything past this is the easy part. I made sure to have all the cans open. It didn't specify whether to drain them or not, so I went ahead and drained them because this includes chicken broth, which usually when you're making a type of soup thing, if you have a base like this, you don't need the juice that's in the cans, so I went ahead and drained all of those. So let's go ahead and bring this over. So, how did that happen? Okay, is this clean? Did I clean this? It's got my fur in it. Okay, so we start by just layering the bottom. Got a fly, get out of here. We just layer the bottom with the onions. So we have a good base to start with. So that's done. Let me spread these out so that they're nice and even. We then put our pork shoulder in, which this is about 2 pounds. I went ahead and went on the maximum because I want a little bit more. Excuse me while I wash my hands because I don't want any of that on me for the rest of it. Ears. Okay. So now we'll put in our garlic. It wants 4 cloves, which I think that translates to like each teaspoon is 1 clove, so I'm going to go ahead and put 4 teaspoons in. And if that's a little bit more than it wants, then whatever, because garlic's good. So we just kind of spread this on top. There's 1. There's about 2. Oops. See, I'm making a mess again. There's about 3. And there's 4. So the garlic is done. Then we'll put in our tomatoes and green chilies on top. The recipe asks for you to put them in a certain order, so I'm just going to follow that just because. I don't think it matters too much, but I'll just follow along so that it's exact. So there's our tomatoes and green chilies. And I'll spread these out a little bit more so they don't pile up so much. Then we put in our actual green chilies. These ones we do not drain because the second recipe I'm using specifically says not to drain them. So I'll go ahead and put those in. Then we go white hominy. These lids are kind of sharp. I'm trying not to cut myself on them. Hominy is just thick corn. So now it's time for, what is it, the jalapenos go in now, so let me kind of flatten this down a little more. So we'll layer these on. Basically, it asks for you to put the jalapenos in after the seasonings, but I thought it would be good to put them in before. That way the seasonings can sit on top and kind of soak into the jalapenos to take away a little bit of that just raw plant flavor that they have. So let me rinse my hands off again. Now the second recipe I used called for a 4-ounce can of taco sauce. I couldn't find taco sauce at the store, so instead I used these taco seasoning packets. The good thing about these is that they have a really, really good mixture of different flavors. If I can even get this open. So if you're ever making a slow cooker recipe and it feels like they're very lacking on the seasonings, you can go into your food mixture aisle where they have all of these packets out and find a packet that kind of matches whatever dish you're making. So you can use like taco or fajita seasoning if you're making some type of Mexican dish. You can use an Italian meat seasoning if you're making an Italian dish. Stuff like that. Because these are really good at adding in a really bold kind of flavor mix. That way you're not really guessing what type of seasonings you want to add into it. Then we have our actual seasonings that it calls for. This recipe, the initial one only called for 1 teaspoon of cumin, which that's kind of bland. So the other one has a bay leaf, so we'll throw our bay leaf in, and then our 1 teaspoon of cumin. You can see I had that pre-mixed too so that I wouldn't make a mess. And then after that, I think all we have left is the red enchilada sauce, which it calls for 2 small cans, but I actually found one economy size, as they called it. Wow, I just spilled it everywhere. So we use our economy size can, which is just about exactly 2 small cans, so that works for me. And then we top it off with 4 cups of chicken broth. Low sodium is what it calls for. Luckily, these boxes are exactly 4 cups, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Hopefully it doesn't overflow because we're getting kind of full. And then at this point, we cook it on high for 7 hours. Ooh, that's getting close. All right. And that is it. You see, it looks kind of ugly because I didn't stir it, but I don't know if you're supposed to or not. I think it needs to just, the meat's supposed to just sit underneath all of that so that it can get most of the heat to cook correctly. Yeah, so Now we will go ahead and put it on high for 7 hours. And that's pretty much it. So I will see you in 7 hours. That didn't work. Well, in the meantime, I'm gonna clean up everything, so I'll see you soon. So let's see what we got here. I haven't really shut it off yet because it only goes to 6 hours, so I had to restart it to get the extra hour in. But yeah, it smells really good. Can't wait to eat this. So we're pretty much just finished up now. The last thing we have to do is pull out the pork shoulder and then shred that up, trim off all the excess fat that's left over, and then throw that back in and mix everything up. I'm gonna go ahead and do that in a bit, but I just thought I'd show you all the garnishments that we can put on it. So we have some lime wedges, some avocado. I bought these mini corn, these, tortillas. That way I could kind of scoop some of it out and make like a mini street taco out of it too, along with the regular the soup, or I can just dip them in it, whatever. I haven't decided yet. But then we get our cheese and our cabbage is what it suggested as one of the toppings. I thought it was lettuce, but they said cabbage, so I made sure to actually get cabbage. This is tricolor cabbage because for some reason I couldn't find just like the small bag of the single colored like red cabbage, which is what I was looking for. But it doesn't really matter. So yeah, as with all other foods, if you ever are eating something and it just feels like it's lacking a little bit in some way, but you can't really figure out what it is, go ahead and add some cheese in there, because cheese makes everything better, and that's probably what you're missing. But since this pretty much covers everything, I will go ahead and let you all go do your thing. So thank you for joining me. Oh, before I forget, there was I wanted to make a side with this, basically just some steamed vegetables, but I don't really need to show you how to do that since I've done that one other time. But what was I gonna say? I was probably gonna look up some recipe for them just so that they could have some seasoning so they're not plain. But these, yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, so basically all of these are optional. You don't have to add any of these if you're tight on cash or whatever, so it doesn't matter too much. But if you want to get the full experience, feel free to add any of these in, and that should be it. So